human first leadership is going to stay relevant. And so my question to you is, how do you see human first leadership staying relevant, and how will leaders today and tomorrow continue to deliver enduring impact? Good day, everybody. It is my pleasure and privilege to introduce to all of you renowned technology leaders from Indian healthcare industry, the one and only Arvind Sivaramakrishnan, currently Group Chief Technology Officer, Asia Healthcare Holdings. Arvind, thank you for joining today to discuss and inspire us on this very first inaugural episode of Human First Leadership in an AI World.
Thank you, Shantanu. Pleasure to talk to all of you, and thank you for having me in your session today.
So let's start, Arvind, with healthcare industry, where you've been a sort of guru and veteran, and we all follow you for tremendous disruptive innovation work that you've been leading across different healthcare sectors, or sectorial or very deep, some very deep dive initiatives. So what do you see as some of the innovation priorities for the healthcare sector in 2025 and beyond?
See, if you look at innovation priorities, the myth is that everything has to happen only in the clinical side. So the logical answer you would be expecting from me is, if I blast off a few highly clinical words and say that we are putting AI on this, is the expectation. And that's a very true expectation also. But today, healthcare in terms of innovation needs a 360-degree look. It needs a uniform balanced look for multiple reasons. One, we need to ensure that our service is consistent. And the reason is the quantum of the community that we are serving is far higher than what we can manage. So that means that you need to have technology as the backbone that can ensure that the degree of service reliance is there. So you need innovation and technology at the operational excellence level. And this is something where, and probably it is innovation for healthcare, but this is where I see a lot of benefit in us learning from the financial sector, the automotive sector, and the traditional hospitality sectors. So while it's been done in all those fields, it's new to healthcare. Call it innovation or copy paste from others, doesn't matter, but as long as the industry is gaining from it. The second aspect of it, again, stuff that has been done in, I would say, well in the ITES sector, and also done well in the service and hospitality sector, is the financial prudence. The way by which the IT sector tracks its financial flows, the entire financial ecosystem of an enterprise and its governance structure. That is something that the healthcare sector needs, because healthcare is also getting introduced to new governance structures in terms of pricing, in terms of quality of service, in terms of transactions, because a lot of healthcare today is still promoter driven, individual entrepreneur driven, and you are seeing a lot of venture capital investment happening. So there's a lot of governance that is there, and principles of doing this again in a repeatable, sustainable manner, which can be evidenceable. So that's another sector that's happening. The third sector, purely a learning from the airline industry and the service industry, hospitality particularly, is the service. Healthcare is a service. Healthcare is about empathy. We all know healthcare is also about business in terms of revenues and profitability and all of that, which is a straight, fair conversation. No unfair conversation. No need to raise eyebrows the moment I call healthcare a business and all that. Call it within the realm of what it is. And in the realm of what it is, the nature of what we have to do it with the level of empathy that the industry and the ambience requires. Because whatever said and done, we are dealing with the life of a person. The life of a person needs to be done. And how can that be done meticulously? Again, the reason for technology to be there. Beyond all of this, the most obvious direct is the clinical excellence. We want clinical outcomes that are best of the best and nothing less than the best. We want no patient safety issues. We want no clinical quality issues. And we want to ensure that the entire clinical team is very equipped with all its sources of knowledge base and decision making assistance, so that they are able to execute a treatment pathway to the best efficacy. And obviously, guide them with the most advanced options so that your speed to getting well, the speed to treatment is done well. And obviously, at the very beginning, the speed to diagnosis is done spectacularly well, and you hit the diagnosis in the very early stages so that you have a longer time for that. So all these have the need for technology, the need for innovation, the need for all the types of disruptive technologies that we are looking at, including usability and user experience. Because the ease of usability and user experience goes a long way in this very human intensive industry segment, which has got a lot of people at all points of the work process, the workflow. So you need that user experience guided by technology, whether it is mobility, whether it is augmented reality, virtual reality, that can actually get them to doing the best and being sure that that best is happening. So
tremendous.
The potential for innovation is just huge.
True. In a short span of time, so very deeply and well explained, Arvind, the spectrum that you covered is truly, I would say, high impact, and in terms of touching different layers of business, technology, patient, operational excellence. So if I may request you, just for the benefit of our viewers, pick any one example of where digital technologies has actually delivered a disproportionate innovation outcome.
Two examples I can think of immediately is, one is in chronic care management. So the manner in which digital technologies coupled with mobility, a certain degree of predictive and prescriptive algorithms is managing preventive health. And that preventive health getting into the layering of the state of well-being or lack of well-being. And not to be mistaken, by when we are using technology and some amount of prescriptive and predictive algorithms in preventive health, we are not talking of only illness. Even if somebody is in a state of wellness, we need to ensure that they are there. We need to also know why it is working well and that we continue it. The mindset is not finding a disease. So that is where you're seeing for chronic health management, diabetes, asthma, general preventive health, cardiac health. We're looking at algorithms that are able to help us manage the state of wellness, personalize the nature of interventions that are required, including lifestyle dietary interventions. So interventions is not only clinical in terms of medication or diagnostic, and thereby also using technology, getting to the right set of diagnostics so that you're not going through an elaborate exploratory path. So figuring out what is that. So if the patient has to be put through a CT angio for a calcification score, the algorithm starts looking at the aptness of the person to be going through that, because telling somebody to go through a CT angio in probably the first short duration of a clinical consultation looks a little, too much to absorb and consume. But at the same time, when it is explained with the evidence-based science, you start looking at why you are doing something, because there is an efficiency of speed to diagnosis and a speed to treatment. And similarly, the whole aspect of the care, and this is not just about a doctor-patient relationship, but managing the patient as an individual so that there is a great quality of life. So that's, which is where many times we try to even avoid calling somebody a patient, because not necessarily you're in the connotation of sickness. So all of this, if you see in the area of preventive health, it's done very well, which takes me to diabetes and early detection of oncology using genetic results, applying that to precision therapy. You start looking at how we are looking at algorithms to look at the embryo of the grade of the embryo, so that the fertility treatment is successful and well guided by science and medicine. Our organization is currently doing a lot of work on having machine learning algorithms and artificial learning algorithms into grading embryos, and thereby making sure that your degree of surety is better as a science, and that amalgamated with personalization of the individual to make sure that it is the best for them. It's not about a general outcome over a cohort of 1 million people, but what it means to the individual. So using these aspects of it, this is a combination of mobile solutions, this is a combination of AR, VR, this is a combination of cognitive algorithms. Again, I'm going to be very careful calling everything an AI. It's easy to call everything an AI, but they are cognitive algorithm built on a great degree of prescriptive and predictive analytics with a large data volume relevant to the cohort. So the data science is in place, and obviously delivered to scale with the power of the cloud. So all of this is something that we are currently executing in the organization. So I see it working, and I see it benefiting quite an amount of our stakeholders.
Excellent. And I think through your illustration of examples, you've already covered the point of how AI and augmented intelligence and algorithms and AR, VR in multiple ways, the newer flavors of say generative AI or agentic,
Yes.
how they are sort of contributing or
Absolutely.
fast forwarding
See,
your
look at the
path.
data.
Yes.
Yeah, the data is talking back to us, and all these avatars of machine learning and cognitive, whether it is AI or agentic AI or Gen AI, the ability by which you're using these techniques to present valid information to the right person at the right time for the right action. I think that's the power of what it brings. It's not about a conversation of is one taking over the other or something
Absolutely.
like that. That's not the purpose of the conversation, or that's really not the purpose of what we're trying to do. It's about augmentation to achieve high degree of outcomes that are absolutely flawless.
Awesome. So thank you so much. I think we've set a great context, sort of zooming into both the business imperatives, innovation priorities, and also the role of technology and in specific diverse flavors, elements of AI. Now let's shift to the focus of or to humans, right? And this is something that I'm personally very passionate about, that in spite of all the, I would say, augmentation capabilities that AI is bringing to the forefront, human first leadership, I think, is going to stay relevant. And so my question to you is, how do you see human first leadership staying relevant, and how will leaders today and tomorrow continue to deliver enduring impact?
I think we need to lead by example. We need to lead by example, and we need to do unto others what you expect others to do to you. So this is, I think, extremely important. That builds a climate of transparency, a climate of mutual trust and respect, treating people irrespective of the spectrum of an organization's ladder with respect, dignity, and treating them for their intellectual capacity that they bring to the table at their levels of experience and expertise. And at the same time, constantly striving to work with them to ensure that they are upskilled as a person, upskilled as a professional, upskilled by the specific aspects of the trade in which they are dealing with. So this is not just about technical certifications, but it is about making them a wholesome person so that they are better and a shade grown from what they were yesterday. And that means that wholesomeness of a person automatically brings in that tremendous mutual respect between two people. And that mutual respect leads to collaboration. That mutual respect automatically opens the air of transparency. And that means that you will have less of inertia of resistance, person to person or person to intention. That creates an organization that is capable of actually achieving the fresh breath of air of innovation. And it clears the air. The air is less polluted. That means the air is less polluted. People are breathing free, and breathing free means operating free. Operating free means automatically the level of engagement increases, thereby productivity increases. Notice that now it is a win-win situation where everybody is happy, everybody is delighted, and everybody feels respected and contributing to the mission and the purpose. That creates a wonderful environment, and I think leadership should ensure that they are part of that. Leadership is not always top down. It is also us ensuring that we are part of the team and the purpose that is being led by somebody.
Absolutely.
Even a simple example as customer support. The person taking the call is the leader of that particular mission, and all of us are only reporting into that person to ensure that he is delivering the customer support properly. There he is the boss, he is the project manager. Irrespective of designation and levels of experience, we all pull into him to make him successful. He feels respected, he doesn't feel dependent.
Absolutely.
He or she. And that's kind of where we look at diversity in terms of all aspects that people bring into the table. And that makes a wonderful environment. Sometimes we come out different in terms of what we wanted to mean versus what it actually sounds. And the ability to have the thing to actually correct ourselves so that, we also set the right tone that if mistakes happen, it can be handled.
Absolutely.
Not that it is desirable to make mistakes, but they happen. And when they happen, how can we handle them in a structured manner and not immediately get into a mindset of punitive action?
Yes.
I think that itself, people will ensure that, oh my God, if there is so much trust placed on me, I need to live up to that trust. That itself is a higher degree of governance and regulation rather than punitive action.
Fantastic. So very well articulated, Arvind. Thank you so much again for that. So let's try to wrap it up with some rapid reflections. So short answers to a set of very, very pointed, inspirational points, Arvind. And so to begin with, one word to describe the future of leadership.
Transparency.
A book that shaped your leadership style.
Couple of them, I would say, Count of Monte Cristo, To Serve with Love, and definitely President Kalam's autobiography of Wings of Fire.
Excellent. The next one, while I personally know the answer to this, but for our larger audience, early bird or night owl?
Hopefully, always early bird. Always early bird.
Absolutely, and that has tremendous benefits that most of us realize.
Yeah.
Someone who inspires you.
Quite a few people. Some of my friends in college, Anand Raj and Bala, who I studied with. A few people I worked with, Manju Saha, and all of them. All of them are simple day-to-day people who kind of showed me how things can happen even amongst a lot of difficulty. Those are, I would say, inspirations for me that keep me going in terms of what I am and how I can do things.
Outside work, tell us your favorite recreation or hobby. What makes you happy?
What makes me happy is Carnatic classical music. So if I can listen to music, and of course I am learning to play music also. I'm learning to play Carnatic classical violin. So that keeps me busy with something that is different from regular work, that keeps challenging me to actually make it sound like what it really sounds like while I'm still far away from that.
Excellent. As we lead and inspire team members, while you have covered some of those points, Maybe one example of what has worked to promote creativity and innovation among team members.
I think allowing people to be themselves at work and making them feel that somebody's got their back. So people are not working in fear and constantly having conversations. I won't call them review meetings, but conversations as to where we are, what we are doing, and what could be done better or not. So I would call them conversations and not review, because that makes it a little more participative as opposed to sounding like a one-sided conversation that only has a scope of answers.
Excellent. In case there are disagreements or diverse points of view, or if I may use the term conflicts, how do we resolve? Is there a straightforward approach to this?
Deal with it. Head on, deal with it. Discuss, understand, rationalize. Sometimes give it time for the mind to settle down, because the blood is a little warm and sometimes irrational. Give it that amount of time and space, but at the same time, deal with the elephant in the room. Show that honesty, show that transparency, show that we are being guided by ethics and not by personal favoritisms.
Excellent. And
I think all of that automatically gets a conflict
Yes.
to mellow down, sometimes find solution, or at least everybody agreeing to disagree, but at the same time ensuring that they will keep the larger interest of the mission and the vision sacred. While we can agree to disagree, that doesn't mean that we go our own ways, but still unite in purpose. That's where the individuality of a person comes in.
excellent. The last point on rapid reflections is one life lesson that stays with you.
I think honest integrity and ethics. Always, never steer away from that. Even bad situations, if they are not working in our favor, if we keep that integrity, honesty and ethics, even though we might be steering through a rough patch, I think the overall outcome is good. I've been through it several times, and I would always go on that, even though there can be shorter outcomes that can give us better results, but it's not what it determines you as an individual and a personality. So keep your personality intact.
Awesome. So very fundamental yet deep-rooted. Thank you. Thank you, Arvind Sivaramakrishnan, for delightfully inspiring all of us with your life story. Our viewers join me in wishing you all the very best.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day and time ahead.
Thank you. Namaste.